Hey guys, and welcome back. And well, it's been a while. It's definitely been a while since I've done a video or a live stream, and I've just been dealing with all kinds of other stuff. However, in my absence of making videos, I do on occasion, and on occasion I mean like almost every live stream. Whenever Henry Resilient live streams, I'm always there in the chat doing my thing. Now, some people may know me from Henry Resilient's YouTube channel. Whenever he drops the link, I usually come up and I'll say something or whatever, or do a little bit. And Henry's live streams seem to be doing fairly well and catching the attention of Ranger Stopped, where he was banned, even though he wasn't there, had zero plans to be there or anything, or for going over court documents for Austin St. John. So when you do these types of videos, you're gonna get some attention. And Henry caught the attention of another YouTuber by the name of Mighty Morphin Conspiracy Theory. All of a sudden this video just popped up in my recommended. The beef needs to end for Power Ranger fans.
The beef between Austin St. John and Jason David Frank is truly a big fascination in the fandom. But did they really hate each other?
You know, we're fine, so long as we never ever talk.
Now this video came out, and needless to say, there were some controversies, some disagreements, and someone that comes up on Henry's streams just had to come up and leave comments on this video, leaving things out of context and blowing things out of proportion. Now we're gonna get to all that, but first we're gonna go through Mighty Morphin Conspiracy Theory's video really quick.
The beef between Austin St. John and Jason David Frank is truly a big fascination in the fandom. But did they really hate each other?
You know, we're fine, so long as we never ever talk.
This seems to continuously come up in the fandom, even after Jason David Frank's death in 2022. For some people, slandering Austin St. John seems to be their way of honoring JDF's death. And throughout 2024,
honoring JDF's death, I wouldn't say that. The people that are slamming Austin St. John they're not really doing that in JDF's honor. I think they're doing that knowing JDF didn't really like Austin. Austin really didn't like JDF. And since JDF passed, it seems like Austin is just saying things and doing things. But it was mostly Austin using JDF's passing to get more people to like him. Like that was kind of the issue. But let's go on.
JDF's death. And throughout 2024, Austin St. John definitely had a lot of controversies and issues, and all the supporters for Jason David Frank seem to really have gone at him hard and enjoyed trying to tear him apart. But I would like to pump the brakes and speculate a little more about the origins of this beef and maybe what sort of developed to make this occur. Austin St. John was cast as the original Red Ranger in 1992 for Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. He had no acting experience and was very young. He was literally a teenager, a martial artist surrounded by actors, admitting that Walter had to show him literally where to stand and how to face the camera during scenes. If you've ever been in a situation where you're the outcast, it's really easy to
Now, I'm sure Walter probably helped him with maybe some blocking and stuff. Austin did not know much in the way of martial arts, and as a matter of fact, I think multiple cast members, I'm not completely sure, but I think even Austin said that JDF was teaching him some moves and this and that. They all did admit that they all did help each other on set, is what I'm trying to say.
overcompensate and try to prove that you're good at something else so that you don't look so stupid or bad to the people around you. Being next to Amy Jo Johnson had to be very intimidating, considering she studied at 2 different schools for acting before being on Power Rangers. And I'm sure it was very difficult for Amy as well. I mean, think about it.
Oh god, this is gonna be a long video for me. All right, so you're saying you assume that Austin was intimidated. I'm sure in general it was their first major role. I'm sure they were all nervous. To say that someone might have been, like, I went to school for automotive and I graduated, and there are mechanics that didn't go to school for automotive and got jobs as mechanics. And let me tell you something, the ones that didn't go to school for automotive, all of the ones I encountered, they were not intimidated by the college guy that had the degree, okay? Because ultimately, whether you're talking about working on cars or whether you're talking about acting, it's the experience that matters. You don't really know nothing until you get the experience. School only takes you so far. So this, oh, Amy came from this or did that, Austin, no, I don't believe any of that.
She has gone through college studying acting. Now she has this high school dropout who's a teenager, a little, in her eyes, probably a little kid, and he doesn't even know what blocking is. As can be imagined, they are filming a month with the original 5 cast members. Austin St. John is not a great actor, but he's the martial arts guy on a show heavily focused on martial arts, so he at least has that going for him. And so he's telling these
He barely had that going for him. He knew some stuff.
Big flamboyant stories, exaggerating things, and these are the type of things that Jason David Frank has brought up many times in the interviews over the years. But for Austin St. John, this is where he's comfortable. This is where his confidence is, and they don't know the difference, so he can kind of be a little outlandish with his stories. And it works because everybody has their role. You have the valley girl, you have the nerd, the dancer, the female martial artist, and the male martial artist.
Female martial artist, Twee wasn't really a martial artist. JDF kind of, Twee and JDF auditioned together because they recasted the Yellow Ranger. So, and they asked JDF to help Twee with some martial arts before her audition. Twee wasn't a martial artist. She was taught certain moves, but she didn't. No. She was beautiful. I thought she was a great actress. Martial artist, not so much.
Then we bring in the newest actor who fills the role that we all were hoping we would get.
JDF was there from the beginning, but okay.
Which was the male martial artist.
It's not the same. It is the same.
So now there's 2 of them. In testosterone levels alone, who's the better martial artist, I'm sure was a discussion all the time, and probably from cast members and crew members. Who's better? Who knows more?
They all knew who knew more, because at the time, JDF, I think he was either running a karate school or he owned one. That doesn't mean that he was rich by any means. A lot of businesses, when they first start up, they're broke. JDF definitely knew more than Austin. As far as who's better, I think it's not who's better, Austin or JDF. I think it's the character. Which character knows more? Does the Red Ranger know more? Does the Green Ranger know more? They fought on the show. Who would win in a fight? I think that's where that comes from.
JDF was new to acting, but he had done modeling in the 80s a little bit when he was 12 years old for this company called Olive Pit Productions. So Jason David Frank maybe had a little more confidence being in front of a camera than Austin St. John did. If that is true, it would have probably made Austin St. John feel even more vulnerable than he was before. And on the flip side, Jason David Frank probably felt a little bit out of place at first, being on set with a group of people who already had been together for a month. And now he's probably a bit intimidated.
JDF was there from the beginning, and you're just assuming, you're guessing that these people were intimidated just because you think that might be what it is. That's not a fact. That's just an opinion.
And trying to fit in and figure out how things go. I know there's been stories about him trying to learn how to do theatrical martial arts versus just his normal martial arts.
That is true. That is definitely true. That is definitely true, because JDF himself said it's a weird adjustment to go from doing actual martial arts to Hollywood fighting, which is not really martial arts. Doing the two so that you don't accidentally inflict harm on someone.
A lot of people in the fandom, I think, immediately jump to, well, Austin St. John deserved it. He wasn't telling the truth, so screw him. Good for him for calling him out. But the details of the story, for me personally, they do hit a little differently. When I was in high school, around the same age as these guys were, there was a close friend of mine, and one day, our senior year, a switch just flipped on him for some reason. Every single time I talked at lunch or we were all out doing something, he would bring up any grammar mistake I made. He would say, oh, you misused that word, or you mispronounced this word, or you didn't do this right, or you didn't say this right. Everything I said, he tried to make me look like an idiot in front of people. Didn't understand what it was coming from. I even confronted him about it privately and said, did I say something to upset you? Did I offend you? And he just denied.
No, I'm not doing anything. I'm not saying anything bad about you. What are you talking about?
Even though I had everybody in this friend group saying oh man, he was saying the meanest stuff about you the other day. That experience was horrific. So when I hear interviews of Jason David Frank saying yeah, I called him out, and everybody's like cheering that, yeah, good for you for pointing out all the things he said that weren't true. I don't applaud it because I know what it's like to have someone like really coming after you, especially when it's someone who came onto the show late and now is embarrassing you in front of everybody. But
so you were kind of picked on, and so somebody was just talking trash behind your back, and you know what it's like to have someone talk trash on you. I don't think you quite understand. Austin was just lying about what he can do. Like, I think those situations are different, you know, and you are talking about people who have big egos and they're gonna clash. That's just gonna happen, especially back in the 90s, especially with the two people we're talking about. But it's just somebody that's finally tired of the crap. I mean, Power Ranger conspiracy, wouldn't you think, like, since somebody was talking trash about you, wouldn't you kind of understand how JDF felt? Because everything I hear, it started out one-sided. Austin was jealous of JDF and his success as the Green Ranger. When he stopped being the Green Ranger, he was going to go and do VR Troopers. Like, kids were calling into the network saying, you got to bring him back, my kids aren't eating. And they brought him back as the White Ranger. Austin was just jealous. Okay, you can feel apologetic or sorry for someone like Austin if he's jealous. If Austin admitted that he was jealous. We're gonna speed this up.
now envision this though. Jason David Frank came out victorious. Jason David Frank was the leader and the new face of Power Rangers. He was in a big blockbuster movie. In the end, the second male martial artist won. The show was his now. And it proved that everybody was replaceable in Saban's eyes. Austin St. John and Walter have stated that they wish they had stayed on to do the movie. Some people stated that if they had done the movie, you know, they could have fought for a better pay after that. They should have established themselves. That to me is a little bit of a misled thought, because Steve Cardenas going into Turbo came in and said, hey, listen, we've done all these things. We've done this movie. We've done all of this. It's time for you to pay everybody equally. And what he meant by that is that everybody should get paid the same as JDF, at least for this last season. They fired him anyway, even though he established himself like everybody said the others should have done. So now,
okay, so do we know why all of the Rangers were being replaced on Turbo? Because he's talking about like on Turbo, like right around that time when Steve left, JDF went and said that they should be getting paid more money and that Chaim Saban should go and tell them that they're doing a good job. Saban said no. JDF was sick. Let's talk about speculation. This is me speculating. JDF was probably sick and tired of the rest of the cast complaining that they're not making as much as him. He probably wanted Chaim Saban to pay them more so that they'd stop complaining. How is it JDF's fault that Saban wanted to pay him more money? Because he does a good job. But he was probably sick and tired of hearing everybody bitch.
now even Kimberly leaves the show. Billy gets pushed aside not to be a Ranger anymore. Tommy has his own team. This is his team now, all his. He's the new Red Ranger. But the catch is that the show isn't doing very well. The ratings are going down. So what's Jason David Frank's worst nightmare? That replaceable actor, Austin St. John?
Wrong. Okay, so with Power Ranger Zeo, yes, they were looking for a Gold Ranger. Many people have said that JDF's brother Eric was slotted to be the Gold Ranger, and a few other people were considered to be the Gold Ranger. Austin St. John was living out of his car at that point and pretty much said, yeah, I'll come back. Yeah, for this money. All right, I'll be the Gold Ranger. They didn't ask Austin St. John to come back and save Zeo. They weren't even thinking about Austin. They were thinking about Eric Frank or the guy that did the voice for the Gold Ranger. I think maybe they were considering him and a few other people. So Austin was he was never the savior of Power Ranger Zeo.
Well, he gets asked to come back as the Sixth Ranger, and now he's going to have to sit there and listen to this lying piece of trash on the lot, talking in between takes and telling stupid stories.
In fact, why do you even have to make him a Gold Ranger? I was like, I don't want to work on this series.
It's something that's actually quite different about him this time around.
Let's talk about it behind his back. Behind his back, so we can't hear. I just left him. I had, a little crush on him. Well, I think we all had a little crush on him. I had a little crush on him. Very handsome. He didn't know that, but now he does. So nice, so sweet, so down to earth. Still is down to earth, and a gentleman. Yeah, he's a true gentleman. Yeah. Some of our cast members, not so much, did some things in front of us that we might not want to say, like farting and things. Austin never did stuff like that. They just felt very comfortable like brothers. Yeah. But Austin was always very chivalrous, I would say. No farting in front of us or anything.
Austin seems to have matured, and the whole cast is starting to meet.
You do know that Catherine Sutherland dated JDF's brother, right? And so maybe they didn't like the brothers like going back and forth doing brother stuff like farting and blah blah blah. And so maybe they were just looking at the only single guy that, because JDF was married, they were just looking at the only single guy who they would naturally have an attraction to. So we can see that he's pretty much just going off of theories and opinions, and none of it's fact. And so like when you just keep basing everything off of these opinions and theories, like he's just building on top of it with more opinions and more theories and more opinions and more theories. And just the way this whole video is put together is just making it seem like this must be fact. Just because you think it doesn't mean it's true. But we're gonna fast forward to the part where he talks about Henry and Frances, because if you want to watch the full video, this full video, I'll put the link in the description. You can check it out for yourself. But let's move forward.
And I wish that the beef was just over. The people keeping the beef going are not his family. It's actually Jason David Frank's former assistant. When it comes to Frances, JDF's assistant, don't think she views it as being dishonest or misleading. She has shared stories about him and worded things in a way that make Austin St. John look really bad and other actors. But I see comments in these videos of her and like Henry Resilient. People are getting really fired up and they're getting really rude and nasty about Austin St. John and other actors. And there's a very one-sided nature to these stories. Around 2014, 2015, according to Frances,
there was a time, this was when ASJ first came back on scene, and Jason approached all the Rangers and said, let's do a free event. Let's make it amazing. Let's make it big. Let's make it, it would be amazing if we do a free event, right? Obviously, Tui is gone. So who else would it be?
Karen Ashley?
Exactly.
Okay.
So I understand that a lot of people were upset with him because he said he wanted a free event.
and that word free is very, very exciting to people. It sounds very generous. It sounds very altruistic. He's looking out for the fans. Look, guys, what an amazing thing he's doing. He's putting on a free event. Let's remember that actors have expenses, you know, transportation to get there, hotel rooms, food, you know, some of them have to deal with childcare, figuring out schedules with their spouses. So to say, oh, they're so greedy for expecting to get paid for their time, it's very misleading, especially to people who really don't understand the situation. At this time, 2014, 2015, Jason David Frank has already been doing conventions for, you know, half a decade. He's making some money off of it, and people like Austin St. John just started. All I'm trying to say is they're not in the same position. To say, hey, he should just do this because he said to do it, is really not as simple as people think it is. Don't forget that Austin has been listening to Jason David Frank talk trash about him, at least.
So after this video, which we'll get back to, but Mighty Morphin Conspiracy Theory pretty much agreed to go on Henry's channel, and there was an interview and they were talking about these allegations, right? And they were just talking about the free event. So we're gonna watch this, and Frances is gonna explain this free event.
Boom, there goes Frances.
Hi.
How's it going?
Good. I'm still waiting on you to tell me where I lied.
She just
Okay.
Coming in hot.
The free event, which I think everyone is like, oh, it's a little you say it's facetious or lie, that the people don't understand what the free event is, right? It was never an event that Jason was gonna make. That was never the case. What was supposed to be the free event, and maybe after I say this, you'll be like, okay, it was supposed to be, they were supposed to pick a show like New York Comic Con, Lexington, even PMC, and he said, let's all go to a convention and do a free autograph signing, a free event. That doesn't mean that the event was gonna be free, that people are not gonna buy the tickets. It was basically, we're gonna take a con, we're all gonna show up to that con, and we're gonna do free autographs. One free autograph for a person, whatever it was. What was gonna happen with that? The lines were gonna be super long. The lines were gonna be out the door. You say free, the people are gonna be out the door. People still had to pay to get into the event, obviously. The promoter still was gonna pay for flights and hotel, because what promoter would not want to be the first show to have the original Power Rangers all together, right? So what were they gonna invest? Their time. They were gonna invest their time. And what was it gonna be the outcome? Promoters were gonna talk about how they sold out a show, how their lines were out the door, and what was that gonna do? That was gonna open the doors to more conventions for all of them. What was that gonna equal? More money, more publicity. They were gonna be set for life, only by investing in themselves one show. And they all denied it. It wasn't about him. He was already established. Him, Johnny Young, Bosch were already doing very well at cons. It wasn't about him. It was about, let's set this in motion, give this free event to make it bigger for everyone. Austin, Walter, and even Karen Ashley, who was not the original, but being passed. He said, oh, well, Tui's passed, we can bring in Karen because there's no other Mighty Morphin Yellow. And and no one sees that because everyone's thinking, well, oh, they have bills, they have family. But Jason's mind was thinking of in the future, not the right now, the future, that it was going to literally set in motion, like they were going to be set for life in cons, because every con was going to bring them all together until Power Rangers died, which was now.
Well, the thing that I understand completely, the idea behind, like, if you invest, in that, I completely get that 100%. That's not really like the issue of like why Jason wanted to do it. It's that it's kind of implied that they all didn't do it because they're so greedy and they just wanted money. But that's kind of the implication.
Because that's what they didn't want to do it for free signing. Right. They wanted to charge.
But that's okay.
It's totally okay. That never came out of my mouth like it wasn't okay. But in the long run, it backfired on them. Because then a lot of them signed up with Zach McGinnis. Zach will group all of them together, but they didn't have Amy Jo. They didn't have JDF. They didn't have the bigger two, let's be honest. And it backfired to the point that Austin went from, when he first came out, he was asking for $50,000 guarantees to now I'm hearing $3,000, $2,000.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Holy shit.
So like,
Okay, so now we're going to talk about JDF's son, Jacob, because our Mighty Morphin Conspiracy Theories is talking about it.
Not a good idea. The other scandal that just really kind of put me over the edge a little bit was this whole, Austin St. John was supporting a sexual predator. Austin St. John shared a video, Jason David Frank's son. He's trying to sell merchandise, trying to make some money, and fans find out that Jacob is a registered sex offender.
Biggest mistake that Austin St. John has made is he has endorsed a sex offender. That's right. I hate to say it, but hey, we gotta let the fans know.
For some reason, when people are trying to spin this as, look how horrible Austin St. John is, it's ridiculous. I don't hear anybody saying that is JDF's son. Maybe this was like JDF's bad parenting. It's absolutely insane.
JDF's bad parenting. Okay, first of all, Jacob was from his first marriage. So when you're dealing with divorce, sometimes one parent will poison the mind of their kids against the other parent. And that definitely happened with JDF and his kids. JDF was alienated from his kids. He didn't get to raise Sky or Hunter or Jacob. Like, there's only so much you can do when you do get visitation when you're not the main parent. What do you do? So you really can't say, I mean, you could say bad parenting, but this implies that JDF did some bad parenting. There probably was bad parenting, but it wasn't from JDF. It wasn't from the parent that had custody of those children. Well, let's move on.
While there might be some negative stories, the positives definitely outweigh the negative. Thank you for taking your time to respectfully answer my comment. Here's my serious question to these people, because why is this sort of philosophy applied to JDF but not Austin St. John or other people? Why is it okay to say, well, he was flawed, but you know what, he tried his best and that's all we can do, he's a good guy? Why can't we say that about Austin St. John? I mean, there's a lot of evidence of him being a pretty decent person and people really liking him.
So saying JDF is flawed, why can't we use that logic towards Austin? Let's see. Could it be that JDF was willing to forgive, but Austin wasn't? Could there be proof of this?
I want you to watch that for one reason. Watch his whole interview and watch how he literally just hates me. Watch my interview on Comics Coliseum. And when you watch it, tell me now's the opportunity where I could jab, and I'm not going to. Here's what I'm gonna tell you. When this comes out and he talks, forgive him. Straight up. People make mistakes. Certain people know how he is and all. Yeah, I'm too nice. It's just the way it is. Forgive him. Make your own judgments. Do not let it destroy your childhood dreams of Power Rangers, okay? We all make mistakes. Thank you for telling me it's time's up.
I would not forgive unless I saw growth. See, the thing is, we saw growth from JDF. We saw JDF, when Austin got arrested. That shows growth. That shows that, hey, he doesn't want any of this anymore. He wants better for people. He wants better, even the people that don't like him or are talking trash about him. What growth have we seen from Austin St. John? What have we seen? We've seen him dodging the truth and not answering questions and blocking people. Blocked by Austin St. John. Literally blocking people, just asking questions of, can you explain this? And he just blocks you. How many people looked up to him? I mean, if you don't see growth from someone, they're not really going to forgive. People saw growth with JDF, so they were able to forgive. Mighty Morphin Conspiracy Theories, there's my answer to you, but we need to get into this next part, which is my God in heaven. You would think it would end here. This should be the end of the video. Buckle up. For those of you who don't watch Henry's live streams, Henry will do an interview and interview someone, or he'll be doing a story about something, and when he's done, he will drop the link, which means you can, if you're in the chat, you can click the link and come up live and you can give your opinion. Now, this happens a lot, and I myself have come up quite a few times. And usually on Henry's live streams, you see the same people coming up every time. Frances will click the link and she'll give her opinion. If you watch Henry streams, you will know who Brent is, and he comes up all the time, and he's always in the chat, and he's always talking about Frances and she's a liar and this and that and talking down to her. And someone else that comes up on Henry streams, Drew Danger, he just kind of had enough of it. So this is on Henry's live stream, and this is after Mighty Morphin Conspiracies has come down. He has done his interview. Mighty Morphin Conspiracies had talked to Henry and Frances. They went back and forth. I'll put a link to that live stream if Henry still has it up. So this is after Casey has dropped down. He's no longer on the live stream. This is very important. So now people are just talking, and this comes up.
What you need, everybody's trying to talk to you and tell you things. You're not listening. You're so pig-headed, stuck in your ideas. What you need, I'm going to tell you what you need. You need one of these across your face. That's what you need. You need one of these across your face. That's exactly what you need. And it needs to come back this way and get you. I'm tired of you. You disrespected Angel. He's not even here. You call out his name and you disrespect Frances every time she's on here. You guys don't have to get along, but you don't have to disrespect her. And back in my day, where I'm from, when you disrespect somebody like that, you get a slap across your face. And you get one coming back. You get two really quick. Don't push it. Because if I ever catch you at a convention, your butt is mine. You understand that? It's mine. If I ever catch you, it's done. You have disrespected people and you've taken things too far. Knock it off. Knock it off.
Are you threatening me with violence?
I'm threatening you. Yeah, it's coming.
Come on, man. Don't do that.
It's coming. It's coming.
He's just talking.
You better hope I don't ever catch you.
It's wow. Oh my goodness.
Henry, you know what? I'm gonna not respond to this because this is I know you're trying to grow your channel, but this is just all
right, Brent, take it
if I give a response to that, then I don't want to give a response to that because that's ridiculous.
All
What
right.
you're how dare you speak to me that way?
Have a good night, Brent, man.
Take your clown self off my channel. Go.
Off his channel. Oh my God.
Go take your 5 foot self off my channel.
Well, you know, this is technically my channel, Drew, but
I know it's your channel, but I don't want his nonsense up here, man. I'm sorry, Henry. I'm sorry. Please forgive me,
you
everybody.
shouldn't be threatening people or implying threats, man. Y'all live in like the same city, you know.
They actually don't live in the same city, but I mean, what Drew did was wrong. It was an empty threat, and since because Drew did apologize.
Brent, listen, I've actually been talking about this since last night with other people, and Dust actually reached out to me this morning. I was in the court and I wrote an apology for you, and I know you won't see it in there, but it was a start, and I admitted I was wrong almost as fast as I said it. And I did an apology, and I did a second apology, and I wanted to apologize to you in person because it did go too far. Now, let me explain. It wasn't dealing with JDF. I have a wife, I have sisters. I don't like to see them disrespected or put down. So I'm a little passionate about that. Another thing is I am of Jewish descent, and you made Adolf Hitler quotes, and I'm not the biggest fan of him. And knowing that I've had family members that died in the Holocaust, I'm not big on that, but that's my bad. I shouldn't let it come out on you. I'm not a fan of you. We'd probably never hang out. You'd probably give me gas and a headache. That's for sure. But I do not wish physical harm on you in any form. And really, like what I was trying to say, it came out wrong, but I'm kind of talking to you like somebody that I do care about your well-being, but the way you approach people and talk to them sometimes, people may not let that slide. And it's going to cause problems with you in the future.
This live stream happens. What does Brent do? Brent goes immediately to Mighty Morphin Conspiracy Theories channel, and in the comments section, he leaves this.
Someone threatened physical violence during the stream Casey was on yesterday. I was so surprised.
Now let's look at the context of this. Someone threatened physical violence during the live stream Casey was on yesterday. If you read the context, he's insinuating that the threat was made to Mighty Morphin Conspiracy.
Did you see it live? I couldn't believe it. Nope, but was it while I was on?
Mighty Morphin Conspiracy thinks that somebody made a threat to him, when in fact there was a threat made to Brent. So Brent left something out of context, not saying somebody threatened him, but somebody made a threat on a stream that Mighty Morphin Conspiracy was on. The threat was made to Mighty Morphin Conspiracy. Now that didn't sit well with me at all. Now I sent an email to Mighty Morphin Conspiracy to clarify what happened, cleaning up Brent's mess so that Mighty Morphin Conspiracy didn't think there was some kind of threat made against him.
I appreciate that, Dust. If it seems to not be something to take seriously, that puts my mind at ease. Dust, I understand that we might have disagreements, but I have not called anyone names or promoted harm towards anyone. And the fact that you would want to reassure me, even if we don't see eye to eye on every point, makes me see your character.
Now, my communication with Mighty Morphin Conspiracy went even beyond that. I got on a Discord call with Mighty Morphin Conspiracy, and I explained everything to him, and explained that no, it was one person that comes up on Henry's stream making a threat to somebody else, and that it was an empty threat, and they have since apologized. And so I straightened that out. And let me tell you, Brent is like a whole other story. Now you can go and look at Henry's streams. He came up once and Karen Ashley came up and yelled at him at Ranger Stop, the one that Henry was banned at. People were yelling at Brent. And it was because Brent name dropped Henry. Brent name dropped someone who is banned at the convention. They thought Brent was working for Henry, which he wasn't. He doesn't. And so that's why they treated him the way that he did. For a while, he left out that context that he name dropped Henry. And you know, and now there's this other controversy with David Yost. Brent went and paid for so many autographs and paid for a video. And there was some kind of issue where Brent showed David Yost a fan word video of them talking about the strike, and he answers it on camera. He pays the money, he takes the stuff, he goes. Security surrounds Brent and tells him to delete the video. This is all according to Brent. Of course, it's really hard to understand. If you're an actor and maybe you said something that you shouldn't have, wouldn't you just say, hey, look, can you delete that video and I'll give you so many autographs or this or that? David Yost, this is my opinion, wouldn't David Yost try to give Brent something else or try to do something to make it right for that video to get deleted? If it were me, I would have said, no, I'm not deleting nothing. Brent actually deleted the video. Security forced him to do it. So he says, we have no evidence of any of this. And Brent just seems to leave out context on so many things, and you just saw it in that comment. Somebody made a threat against Brent, and Brent made it seem like a threat was made on someone else. Brent just made someone else feel how he felt when he was threatened, just leaving out context. Like Brent always talks about, hey, you gotta show full context. We need the full context to understand a situation. Brent says this all the time, but it applies to everybody but him. He can leave out context. He doesn't see anything wrong with it. And if you're in Henry's Discord, this is why I go so hard on Brent. That's why I clown on him. That's why I troll him. I am a troll. That's what I do. It's who I'm a YouTuber. What are you gonna expect from a guy like me? As far as Mighty Morphin Conspiracy, look, dude, you actually make some really good videos. This video this video wasn't hit. You're saying that Frances isn't completely truthful. You still have not shown us where she hasn't. You've just shown opinions, not like, hey, she said this, it's not the truth. Like, if you're gonna say somebody isn't fully truthful, you need to show why and show the proof. But let me know what you guys think below in the comments. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I got more stuff coming. I'm trying to get off this Power Ranger kick, and I'm trying to do Supernatural live streams and Buffy the Vampire Slayer and talk about Firefly and all the other old shows because I love those shows. But I will be live streaming again. I'll let you guys know when. Links to Mighty Morphin Conspiracy Theories in the description. Link to Henry's YouTube channel in the description. Link to Frances's channel in the description. I have a collab coming up with Heirloom. I don't know if it's going to be coming out before or after this video. Link to Heirloom's channel in the description. And I will see you guys next time.
Don't forget to subscribe and join the